Hey everyone, if you love to watch history, hit that subscribe button and watch the video till the end because video is going to be very interesting. Your support keeps this channel going. America's Lost Colony, the mystery of Roanoke. Among the many mysteries of American history, few captivate the imagination as powerfully as the disappearance of the Roanoke Colony. Known today as the Lost Colony, the fate of more than 100 men, women, and children who settled on Roanoke Island in the late 16th century remains one of history's great unsolved puzzles. Despite numerous theories, ranging from integration with native tribes to annihilation by hostile forces, no definitive evidence has been found to conclusively explain their disappearance. This article explores the origins, establishment, struggles, and eventual vanishing of the Roanoke colonists, and examines the many theories that have arisen over the centuries, the age of exploration and England's ambitions. The late 15th and early 16th centuries were defined by the age of exploration. European powers like Spain, Portugal, France, and England were racing to explore, claim, and colonize new lands across the globe. For England, colonization offered not just economic benefits but also a chance to challenge the dominance of Spain, whose wealth from the New World was making it the most powerful nation in Europe. Sir Walter Raleigh, an English adventurer and favorite of Queen Elizabeth I, was granted a charter in 1584 to explore and establish a colony in the New World. The goals were clear: establish a base for attacking Spanish ships, spread Protestant Christianity, and find new sources of wealth. Raleigh's ambition would lead to the creation of England's first attempt at a permanent colony in the Americas. The first expeditions, scouting the New World. In April 1584, Raleigh dispatched an exploratory mission, led by Philip Amatus and Arthur Barlow, to survey the east coast of North America. They arrived at Roanoke Island, situated between the mainland and the barrier islands of what is now North Carolina's Outer Banks. The explorers were impressed by the fertile land and the friendliness of the local Algonquin-speaking tribes, particularly the CROATOAN. Barlow's glowing reports painted Roanoke as a paradise ripe for English colonization. Inspired by the promise, Raleigh organized a full-fledged colonization attempt. However, these early impressions would prove dangerously optimistic. The 1585 colony, a first attempt and failure. In 1585, a group of about 108 men, led by Sir Richard Grenville and Ralph Lane, set sail to establish the first colony on Roanoke Island. Grenville returned to England for supplies, leaving Lane and the colonists behind. Relations with the Native Americans quickly deteriorated. As Lane's men demanded food and resources, tensions escalated into violence, and the colonists found themselves increasingly isolated. Harsh conditions, scarcity of supplies, and hostile relations with the indigenous peoples led to the colony's abandonment. In June 1586, the colonists were rescued by Sir Francis Drake, who had stopped by during his privateering raids against the Spanish. When Grenville returned shortly after with supplies and reinforcements, he found the settlement deserted. He left a small garrison behind before returning to England, but this effort also failed. The 1587 colony. A new beginning, undeterred by earlier failures, Raleigh organized another expedition in 1587. This time, the mission was led by John White, an artist and friend of Raleigh. Unlike the previous military-oriented expeditions, this group included families, with 115 men, women, and children aiming to establish a permanent settlement. Among them was White's daughter, Eleanor Dare, who soon gave birth to Virginia Dare, the first English child born in the New World. Her birth was celebrated as a hopeful symbol for the fledgling colony. However, challenges mounted quickly. The settlers found Roanoke Island ill-suited for agriculture and increasingly hostile. They implored White to return to England for additional supplies. John White's fateful departure. White's return voyage to England was fraught with delays. England was on the brink of war with Spain, and Queen Elizabeth I had forbidden ships from leaving the country as the Spanish Armada threatened invasion. It wasn't until 1590, 3 years later, that White managed to return to Roanoke Island. When he arrived, he found the colony deserted. The clues left behind. The only clues White discovered were the letters C-O-R-A carved into a tree and the word CROATOAN carved into a post of the fort. There were no signs of struggle or violence, and the houses had been dismantled rather than destroyed. White took this as a possible indication that the settlers had moved to CROATOAN Island, modern-day Hatteras Island, home to the friendly CROATOAN tribe. However, storms and ship damage prevented him from reaching the island to investigate further. Heartbroken, White was forced to return to England, never to see his daughter, granddaughter, or the colonists again. Theories behind the disappearance: 1. Integration with native tribes. One of the most widely accepted theories is that the colonists integrated with local tribes, such as the CROATOAN or other Algonquian groups. Later European settlers and explorers reported encounters with Native Americans who claimed to have white ancestors or exhibited European traits such as gray eyes and lighter hair. 2. Spanish attack. Spain, aware of England's attempts to colonize the New World, may have dispatched forces from their nearby Florida stronghold to eliminate the English threat. However, no concrete evidence has been found to support this theory. 3. Starvation and migration. It is possible that the colonists, facing food shortages, abandoned Roanoke and moved inland or southward in search of sustenance. Archaeological evidence suggests small groups of Europeans may have lived among native tribes for years after the disappearance. 4. The Lost Colony at Chesapeake Bay. Another theory holds that the settlers attempted to relocate to Chesapeake Bay, their originally intended destination. Historical documents suggest that Jamestown colonists later heard rumors of English survivors living with native tribes along the Chowan and Roanoke rivers. 5. Massacre. Some accounts from Jamestown colonists imply that the Roanoke settlers may have been killed by hostile tribes. However, these reports are second-hand and lack archaeological corroboration. Archaeological investigations, modern archaeology, has tried to solve the mystery of Roanoke. Excavations on Roanoke Island, Hatteras Island, and the mainland have uncovered English artifacts such as pottery, tools, and weapons. However, whether these artifacts belong to the Lost Colony or were later traded with Native Americans remains unclear. One promising discovery occurred on Hatteras Island, where archaeologists found a gold signet ring, a rapier hilt, and other Elizabethan-era objects. Some researchers argue this supports the theory that the colonists moved southward and assimilated with the Croatan. The site X, dig near the Albemarle Sound, has revealed more tantalizing clues, including English pottery mixed with native artifacts, suggesting at least some colonists moved inland, Roanoke, in popular culture. The mystery of the Lost Colony has inspired countless books, plays, television series, and even video games. The annual outdoor drama The Lost Colony has been performed on Roanoke Island since 1937, bringing the story to life for generations of audiences. In modern pop culture, the Roanoke mystery was central to the plot of American horror story, Roanoke, and has been featured in numerous documentaries and speculative fiction works. Legacy of the Lost Colony. The fate of the Roanoke colonists remains unknown, but their legacy endures. They were pioneers, braving the unknown in pursuit of a better future. Their disappearance also served as a hard-learned lesson for future colonization efforts, such as the founding of Jamestown in 1607. Today, Roanoke stands as a symbol of early American mystery and a testament to the perils and hopes of exploration. Conclusion: America's Lost Colony represents not just a historical mystery, but also a profound human story. A story of hope, struggle, resilience, and loss. Despite centuries of research, speculation, and imagination, the true fate of the Roanoke colonists eludes us. Yet, their spirit of adventure and courage continues to captivate and inspire historians, archaeologists, and dreamers around the world. In the end, perhaps the greatest legacy of the Lost Colony is the enduring question it leaves behind. What happened to the men, women, and children who sought a new life in an unknown land? Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel and turn on the notifications so you never miss a new video. Your support means everything to us. Keep supporting.